Hi everyone! Today I am going to show you step 2 for making your hand sewing stuffed animal project. So what we've already done in step 1 is cut out the bottom and the top, or the two pieces, to our project, and we inserted the eyes, okay? So next step is to sew on the facial features. So what I have here for the frog, and I'm going to show this with the iguana and the lips, is the frog comes with a little piece of black felt that you're going to use to make a little smile on your frog. So what you do is you find the middle, which is about right here, and you put it kind of in between the eyes where the smile would be. And then you put a pin right here to hold it in place. Now to put the pin in, you push it in through both layers and then push it back up so it weaves in and out and it's flat, okay? Then I'll take another pin. I'm gonna curve this felt up a little bit, put a pin in through both layers, and then push it back up so it's flat. And then I'll do the same thing over here. I'll curve it up, put the pin in through both layers, and then back up so it's flat like that. And you can see how it makes a nice little smile. When you put your smile on your frog, do not put it way down here, or it won't show when you sew the two layers together. It needs to be up here higher, okay? So again, to put the pins in, you push it in and push it back up. Then what you're gonna do is sew in and out from here to here. But before I show you how to sew, I'm gonna show you what to do with the iguana and the lips, and then I'll show you how to sew, because that'll be the same technique for whatever animal you're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna move this out of the way, and now I'm gonna bring over my iguana. Okay, so here I have my iguana. And for the iguana, he doesn't have a smile, but he has two nostrils. Okay, so I'm gonna have my cameraman zoom in right here, okay? And your iguana comes with a little piece of black felt. What you have to do, and this is kind of tricky, but you have to cut out two little circles or two ovals out of your black felt. Okay, so I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut a little oval, cut a little circle out like that. And if they're not perfect or the same size, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. It'll look good after you stuff it, no matter what these little nostrils look like. So you can see I have one here, and then I'll cut another little oval. Like I said, they don't have to be perfect, just cut a little oval. Okay, there's my other one. They're definitely not perfect. This one's kind of square. I'll just cut that little corner off, but it's fine. Okay, so now I need to pin my nostrils down. Okay, so I've got my pins again, and you're gonna put them in place. Don't put them too low. You don't want them down here. You want them up a little higher. Okay, so about right there. And then you're gonna take a pin, push it in, down through both layers, and then back up so it's flat. I pinned one, and then I'll put my other one here, pin down through both layers, and then push it back up so it's flat. And that holds them in place with the pins so you can sew it. All right, then I would sew in a little circle around my nostrils. If I have black thread, say if it doesn't come with black thread, if it comes with red or maroon, if you have black thread at home, because maybe your mom has some or grandma or somebody, you can use black thread around the nostril or black thread around on the mouth. Either way is fine, okay? But if you just have the red, that works too. Now, I'm gonna use the mouth to actually show you how to sew around the mouth or around the nostrils. Okay, so I've got the lips here, okay? The lips don't have nostrils or they don't have a smile, but there is a in and out technique that you have to do. To make the lips have a little separation down the middle, you're gonna sew in and out down this line, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to sew in and out. Now, I would use pink for this, okay? I would normally use pink and sew a little pink line right down the middle. But I'm gonna use black just so that it shows up and you can see what I'm doing. But do not use black on your lips at home. You're gonna use the pink. This is just for a demonstration. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do is take your thread and you're gonna take an arm's length of thread. You're gonna stretch your arms all the way out, okay? Stretch your arms all the way out so I have a nice long piece of thread. Then I'm gonna cut it with a pair of scissors, okay? Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get, if I have some wax to run this thread through. If you have a candle, you can just run it alongside a candle, and it helps make it easier for you to tie a knot or to thread your needle, okay? I have this special sewing wax called beeswax that I'm gonna use, and I'm just gonna run this thread along this wax, but you could use a candle, or you don't even have to do this step, it's fine. Okay, so now I've got a little waxy coating on my thread. I can also take this off, this is just like a candle, and get some wax on my finger and rub that on my thread, and that helps it go through the needle. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little wax on my finger, and then I'm gonna take my needle, okay, you might wanna zoom in on this. I'm gonna take my needle and I'm gonna thread the thread through my needle. Now some kids like to have a long piece hanging off like this and then try to push it through the needle, and it's really hard because it just kind of bends and doesn't go where you want it to. When you're threading the needle, you wanna pull it back so you just have a little tiny piece of thread showing between your thumb and your finger, just barely peeking out. Then you take the eye of your needle and push it over your thread and bring it through like that. Now I'm gonna double my thread. So what I'm gonna do is keep pulling, 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 and I'm gonna get both ends even, okay? So now I've got a long piece of thread. It goes from the needle all the way down to here, okay? So it's a double thread. And now I'm gonna tie the knot. For a lot of people, this is the hardest part of sewing. It's probably gonna take you 4 or 5 times to get the knot, and that's okay. You just have to keep trying, keep trying. Now, I put the thread through, and I've got my ends even. It helps if you get a little wax on your finger, okay, from a candle. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your finger, and you're gonna hold the thread right here. I'm gonna wrap it around my finger once, 2, 3 times, okay, like this. Now I'm gonna unroll it using my thumb off my finger, and as I unroll it, I'm twisting it together. See that? Okay. Then I grab it right here where it's all bunched up and hold it really tight and pull down, and I get a nice big knot so it doesn't come out while I'm sewing, okay? I'm gonna show you that one more time because like I said, tying the knot is the hardest part of sewing. So you might have to rewind this and watch this video several times. This is gonna be tricky. You just have to keep practicing until you get it, okay? So remember, I have a long piece of thread, arm to arm, stretch them out. Then just have the thread barely peeking out between my thumb and my finger. Push it through the eye of the needle and get both ends together so they're even. And pull it like this. Now I'm ready to tie the knot. I like to get some wax on my finger, that does help. I'm gonna rub it, I'm gonna roll it around my finger once, twice, 3 times around, very loose, gentle. Now I twist it off my finger, push it down with my thumb, and roll it so it gets all twisted together. Grab it tight. If you don't hold it tight, it won't hold the knot together. Grab it tight and pull down, and I get a nice big knot, okay? Now I'm ready to sew. I could use this thread and sew around each of the nostrils, up from the bottom, in and out around the nostrils. Or I could use my frog, come up from the bottom, and sew in and out along my smile of my frog. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to sew along the line of my mouth, of my lips, but it's gonna be the same technique whether you're doing the lips, the frog, or the iguana. Okay, so you have to turn it over to see where to start. So I'm going to start right here. I don't want this ugly knot on the front, on the fur side. I want it on the back so it doesn't show. So I start here where the line starts. Now remember, if you're doing the lips, you're going to use pink thread. If you're doing pink lips, and red thread if you're using red lips. I'm using black just so that you can see better. Okay, so I've got my knot on the back. Okay, see that? Then I'm going to go in and out on that line. So it comes up here. So now I have to go down on the line, little stitch. See that? Now I'm going to come back up on the line, then back down on the line. You can start to see a little line forming there. Back up on the line, back down on the line. No, my stitches are not that big, pretty small. Okay, back up on the line, back down on the line, back up on the line, back down on the line. Now normally I would be doing this with pink thread, okay, and you can see how it's going to make a nice pink line all the way across my lips, okay. If I was sewing on the frog, I would do the same thing. I'd come up from the bottom, down, up, down, right on my smile. If I was doing the iguana, same thing. I'd come up from the bottom, sew a little couple, the iguana probably only take like 3 stitches to go around each nostril. Now, let's pretend that I sewed all the way across the lips and I'm done, okay? You can't just cut off your thread or it'll just come right out. You have to tie a knot. Here's how you tie a knot when you're done stitching. Let's pretend that I sewed all the way across, or let's pretend I sewed all the way around the frog's mouth or the nostrils. When you're done, you turn it over to the back, and to tie a knot, you sew 3 times in the same place. So let's pretend I've already sewn all the way across. What I do is I take a little stitch in and out right there. That's 1. In the same spot, again, that's 2. And I go in and out 3 stitches right on top of each other. And on the 3rd one, I put it through the loop and pull it tight. And that ties a nice knot for me. And now I can cut this off and it won't come out. Okay, I'm gonna show you that one more time. All right, so first of all, I need to get more thread because I'm almost out. So I'm gonna take that out, get my thread again. I'm gonna get an arm's length of thread. Stretch out your arms all the way. Nice long piece of thread, arm to arm, okay? So I've got a nice long piece of thread here. I'm gonna get some wax on my finger and wipe it on the end of my thread so it's easier to go through the needle. And you can just get a candle if you want and push it through the eye of your needle. Okay, I'm gonna get both ends, pull it through so they're even, both ends are even, get some wax on my finger, okay? I'm going to hold it between my thumb and my finger. I'm gonna tie that knot once, twice, 3 times around, unroll it off your finger, hold it tight, 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 and pull down, nice big knot, okay? Now we don't want that knot to show on the front, okay? I think this time I'm gonna show you what to do with the iguana. Okay, so I'm gonna sew a couple little stitches around one of the nostrils. So I don't want that on the front, that would be ugly. So I come up from the bottom, through the nostril, okay? Come up, and then I'm gonna go down right here in the nostril. It's a little harder to push that through, but you can get it going. Okay, now I've already done 1 stitch, so now I can take this pin out because it'll stay in place for me. Now I'm gonna come back up, kind of where I left off, so be about right here. Come up through the nostril, go down through the nostril, and one more stitch. 3 stitches on each nostril should do it. Come up in the nostril, go down in the nostril. Okay, and now I'm ready. Now I got that nostril on there nice and tight. So now I'm ready to tie my knot in the back. Okay, again, 3 stitches on top of each other and then put it through the loop. Okay, so you make sure you're on the back, not on the front. You don't want this ugly knot to show. Go right where you left off. 1, 2, 3 stitches right on top of each other, and then put it through the loop and pull it tight, tight, tight. And then I can take my scissors and cut that off. And now I've got one of my nostrils sewn on. So for today's step, what you're gonna do, if you have the iguana, you're gonna sew on your 2 nostrils. If you have the frog, you're gonna sew from here to here on your mouth. Remember to pin it down first. And if you have the lips, you're gonna sew from here to here across the line, okay? Lips, I used black to kind of show you what it looks like, but you're gonna use pink or red. With your iguana, you can use black if you have some, or whatever color came with your project. With the frog, you can use black if you have some, or you can just use your green that comes with your frog. Either way is fine. All right, that's the step for today. Hope it goes well for you. Thanks, bye.